What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we are jumping into X-Men Red issue number 6. This is Judgment Day. This is the Hour of Magneto. This is the issue that we have all been waiting for. After Uranos had come down on Arakko, he put down some devastation. He also punched a hole right through Magneto's chest. And though we thought he may be dead, using his abilities, he is able to control the iron and keep his blood inside of his body without a heart. And while Uranos is no longer on the battlefield, left behind are the war machines. Now, this story does continue on through Judgment Day issue number 4. That will be the video that we drop after this one. In all honesty, I would really call this the Hour of Magneto Part 1. Now, make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. This story is starting us off with a little bit of narration, a recording from a Dr. Marshall, currently using his camera to document and record everything ongoing. He is a scientist that has been embedded with the people of Arakko, trying to understand how mutant kind was able to terraform so easily, believing that maybe they can replicate this in some way, shape, or form. While he was here, the attack began, the giant hex making its way throughout the city, burning and destroying anything that stands in its way, telling the two children that are along with him, because all the parents, they have gone off to fight in war. Arakko customs are very brutal. It is a very warrior lifestyle. So the idea of these children running, to them, it is appalling. Why would they leave when they can fight? But Dr. Marshall, he is able to convince them that this is more of a tactical retreat, that you surviving, this is winning, that he will stay behind, he will distract this monster, he will give them the opportunity to live. Lucky for him, the regent of Arakko has arrived. Storm comes up on scene, letting him know that from this day forward, you are of Arakko. You have earned your place because of what you are just willing to sacrifice. But that sacrifice is not going to be necessary. But Storm isn't coming alone this day, because the Table Day, they stand with her, members of the Great Ring of Arakko, the ones known as Laktuka and Sobanar. She makes the proclamation, letting all that hear that one attack on any Arakkii, this is an attack on all of them. This is a challenge to their power, a challenge to their very survival. We see Storm going in on the Hex, taking the lead in this battle as Sobanar releases some of the endless ocean stored inside of his blood. In doing all of this, she is able to sculpture a monsoon. With all of this rain falling from the sky, it refracts the beast light. This is blunting its weapons, and this fight could be over instantly. Storm even points out the fact that Laktuka could teleport this thing directly into the sun, but Storm would like to make a point, to express herself, and she uses the lightning to display her anger, bringing the bolts down on top of the Hex. And this is just one more weapon taken out of the arsenal that is belonging to the Eternals. The question is, where do we go now? Where can our powers best be served on the planet? We cannot be in 10 different places at once. We have to choose where we can have the most significant impact. This is where Laktuka comes into play. Laktuka the Knower, staring into the eyes of Storm. This is where Storm sees a little bit of everything, looking through the eyes of Richard Rider, looking through the eyes of the man with no name, the one known as the Fisher King. A.X.E the Unbeaten is still battling this giant monster under the water. From Wrong Slide all the way over to WizKid, she is seeing the battle in so many different perspectives. And that is what lands her in Lotus Logos. His voice projects metal, and this is when she looks through the eyes of Magneto. He is currently taking down a 10-foot story silicone gorilla using the metal of Lodos, using the metal shards as spears. He pierces right through the head and goes straight through the brain. And this is hugely significant because the people of Arakko, they are not one to couple powers together. That is a sign of weakness, that your strength comes from you. If you need assistance or you need to boost each other's powers, years, this makes you weak in the eyes of the Arakkan people. But after everything that has happened, Lotus and the others are starting to see that teamwork, it might actually be a good thing. That these are customs Apocalypse had taught us at one point in time. Customs that we had forgot for so long, that maybe it is time to rewrite some of the laws. The world has changed, and now we need to evolve with it. But that is an issue for tomorrow. Today, they have to continue their battle, and Magneto is finding himself in a greatly restrained situation. He is missing his entire heart. There is a hole right through his chest. He is using all of his concentration to focus on keeping his blood moving through his body, keeping him alive, more or less simulating having a heart. He knows that he doesn't have that much longer. With what power he has left, he is going to do everything he can to save the people of Arakko. This is when they are interrupted by Roberto da Costa, the Fisher King, and Siza of the Smoke, presenting themselves before Magneto. They let us know that they are the Night Seats. They are secret seats of the Great Ring of Arakko, and that really is more of a oversimplification. Let's dive into the history real quick on that. In the very beginning, everything was ruled by the seats of dawn, day, and dusk. To check them if need be, there was the seats of night, the shadow table, self-recruiting, self-replacing, separate from the Great Ring, and unbound by its customs. To take it a step further, no Omega has ever served on the night seats, and none ever will. They had gone from spies to secret warriors. They eventually became nothing more than advisors to the throne. It got to the point that the entire seat, they had been just wiped away. They had been dissolved, and Aura had blinked them out of existence. When Arakko fell, these were the hard years. The years of prison for all the people. For many years, they lay dormant. That was until Arakko rose again. Now on the planet formerly known as Mars, Roberto da Costa had come to 2 members, and the Night Seats were reformed, not being bound by any customs. Even if da Costa is not in fact of Arakko, he doesn't have to be. Now for Magneto, he really expected nothing less from da Costa to keep this secret, to play his hand in this game. The Fisher King, on the other hand, he's a little bit disappointed. He thought that he had made a legit friend. The truth is, the Fisher King wanted to know what kind of man Magneto is. After all those years in prison, he has been very skeptical of anybody. But Magneto had welcomed him with open arms. But right now, they need to get to work. There are still people that need saving. Before they can go anywhere, this is where we see the gorilla resurrect itself. All of these weapons are coming back online. They are rebuilding themselves. As all of this is happening, Storm knows exactly where she needs to be. As they teleport in, a lightning bolt comes from the sky, striking Magneto directly in his chest, because her lightning attunes to his ability. One time, she had struck him with lightning. In doing so, he used this to empower himself at the sake of her life force. Right now, she is giving this up willingly. His focus now restored. His invisible heart at one point in time was a struggle to keep up with, but now it is like breathing to him. As all the members of the Great Ring and the Seats of Night, they observe this going on. It is almost intimate in nature. This is unheard of. 2 Omegas empowering one another. 2 of them that sit on the Great Ring, and this goes against their very customs. But we see the true power as Magneto is being supercharged. The gorilla before them, he just disintegrates, absolutely melting into a puddle. Magneto had brought up molten iron from the core of the planet, Logos letting it be known that we must remember this moment, because all rules were broken for the broken land, and perhaps the beginning of a new history. As everybody bands together, the Fisher King does point out that A.X.E the Unbeaten is still on the side of the enemy. This means we are still losing. With every moment that passes, we continue to lose more. They also point out that these weapons, they keep coming back online, they keep coming back to life. We have to cut it off at the source. We have to cut it out where it all began. We have to turn the switch off, which means they need to take the fight to Uranus. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Now, I don't know about you, but I absolutely love this issue. It was packed full of information. It jumped us all over the battle. Granted, it's not necessarily the hour of Magneto because it's a lot focused on Storm, on other characters of Arakko, which is a good thing. I've been wanting more of them. But I also said that this is part 1 of the hour of Magneto, because in Judgment Day issue number 4, we see them take the fight to the Eternals. I have also been waiting for Storm to really make her appearance known, and while they took quite some time getting her into this comic, she made one heck of an entrance. One thing I really want to point out is the fact the Great Ring, they are starting to really question their customs, to question their laws. Things that they thought were weaknesses before, they are starting to recognize maybe these are good things. With Storm and Magneto coupling together, we see how powerful an Omega can be, how strong they can get with another Omega who really connects with that ability. And so if they are questioning this custom, I have to assume that in the near future they're going to be questioning whether or not they decide to do resurrection, because that has been something that has been taken off the table. In fact, Storm and Magneto's backups have been destroyed. Magneto can't keep going on like this forever, but he is going to fight until he dies, being too stubborn to head to the healing gardens, saying that they don't have time for it. If they are going to take the fight to Uranus, he needs to be there. But of course, nobody wants to see Magneto actually die, with his story on Arakko truly just beginning. I think it is very possible the Great Ring, after this battle, they are going to decide that resurrection is something that they want to bring on board, that they'll see it not as a weakness, but as a strength, an opportunity for their people to live on forever. Now, definitely make sure you guys check out the next video. That is Magneto versus Uranus. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you would like to get caught up on everything going on with Judgment Day, be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It is going to get you completely caught up on everything going on with this event. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having 5 different tiers from $1 to $50, from loyalty badges all the way to getting free comics every month from me. And so not only are you getting tons of perks, but you're also helping out the channel tremendously. If you are unable to do this, please do me the favor, subscribe to the channel, like the video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.